I'm going to begin, Dennis, as well. I mean, of course, there is a kind of a sort of notion in cinema that working with kind of children or animals can sometimes be a challenge. How did you find...
W.C. Fields said that.
But how did you find your experience on this movie?
I like it, actually, working with animals, especially dogs, because they are engaging. And, you know, they're not self-absorbed actors with big egos. We don't have to worry about that. And you know, it was just a lot of fun.
You've been obviously working in the industry for a number of years now. Have you found across the years when you have had to work with children or animals? Have there ever been any kind of horror stories? Or have you always found it to be quite an easy process?
No, I've never had any horror stories or anything like that working with kids or animals. You know, it's really that's a province of the working with a good director too.
Because, I mean, obviously in this movie there's a few scenes where the dog licks your face. I was wondering, was that in the screenplay or was that spontaneous? How did you feel about...
I don't remember. All I know is it just happened. You know, you carry around bacon in your pocket and you've got some friends when it comes to dogs.
You're talking about... I mean, this is quite sad kind of saying goodbye, because when you say goodbye to, say, a colleague that you've worked with on a movie, or just anyone, it be in the crew or the cast, you can just call them up and see how they're doing, kind of, catch up. But you obviously, assume you kind of grew a kind of affinity of friendship with the animals in this movie, and then you're off. And I mean, have you sort of made any attempts to keep in touch?
We just... mental telepathy. Mental telepathy, that's how we communicate. No, but they've gone on to other things, becoming big stars off my back. So they're doing all right.
I was thinking, because obviously, like I mentioned just before we started, my girlfriend recently got a dog, and I get really frustrated that I can't talk to dogs, because I want to just call them up and say I'm coming around on Saturday and just make plans and stuff like that. But obviously that's kind of impossible. I mean, do you ever just wish you could just talk to a dog? And if you could, what would you like to talk about?
Dogs lived entirely in the moment, and they it's amazing. I would ask them what they were talking about when I was out of the room, because they definitely understand English. They do. They know a lot more English than you think they do.
Do you think they understand cut?
Yeah, if they had vocal cords, what they could say.
I mean, you're obviously sort of the co-lead in some regards with Josh Gad in this movie. I was wondering if you worked with him at all across this project, or was it a completely separate experience?
No, not at all, in fact.
It must be quite strange, because I guess the two of you are kind of sharing this movie, you're kind of promoting the film together, but it would feel like you made completely separate films.
Yeah, I guess so, because it was all, we were working in different realms, actually.
And you obviously mentioned before about how important it is to have a good director. What's it like working with Lasse Hallström in this movie?
Well, I'd worked with Lasse before on Something to Talk About years ago, in the 90s, and I love his movies, and he's so fine. He's such a great director. He's, is like one of the directors of the 70s and the 80s. So he does it the kind of old school way, where it's just very casual and everything seems to happen. And very improvisational too. And
because next up you've got Kin, which sounds sort of quite fast. I mean, incredible cast. I was wondering what that one's all about and how your character fits into that narrative.
It's a fantastic story, Ken, and I don't quite know how to talk about it, but it's about orphans, is what it's about. It's about feeling alienated in the world.
Any dogs in it?
And there's some aliens.
Okay. How's your working relationship?
No
with
dogs
aliens?
in it though.
No, that's a shame. All right, maybe that can be in the sequel. Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today.
All right.
Much appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!